Kim Kardashian just went on Call Her Daddy and said things that nobody saw coming. We're talking about her finally opening up about the nightmare marriage with Kanye West, the co-parenting situation that's way worse than anyone realized, and that Justin Bieber photo shoot that people have been dragging her for. She even got into the drama with Kourtney Kardashian, the Travis Barker rumors, and why North West keeps getting criticized online. The Kardashians have always been careful about what they reveal, but this time, Kim held nothing back. She talked about feeling unsafe in her own marriage, waking up to find all their Lamborghinis gone, and why it's been months since Kanye West has even seen his own kids. Plus, she addressed that controversial shoot with a teenage Justin Bieber that had everyone questioning her judgment. If you thought you knew everything about Kim Kardashian and the Kardashian family, think again. This interview changed everything, and the internet is going absolutely wild over what she revealed. Kylie Jenner, Kris Jenner, and the rest of the family are probably watching this unfold, wondering what's coming next. And trust me, what Kanye West does after hearing this is going to be insane. Before we get into all the chaos, do me a favor and smash that subscribe button. I promise I won't make your Lamborghinis disappear like Kanye. Just a simple click, that's all I'm asking. No episodes required. Let's talk about the marriage that everyone watched fall apart in real time. Kim finally opened up about what it was actually like being married to Kanye West, and it's way darker than most people realized. She talked about never feeling safe, and she wasn't just talking about physical safety. She meant emotionally, financially, the whole thing. Imagine waking up one day and all your cars are gone. Not stolen, but given away by your own husband during what she called an episode. Kim described coming home to find 5 Lamborghinis in the garage, feeling good about life, and then the next day, they'd all be gone. Kanye just gave them away to his friends. She'd ask where her new car went, and the answer was always the same. He was having an episode, and the cars were gone. This happened multiple times. The first time, she was shocked. The second time, she just told his friends to keep the cars because she didn't know what else to do. That's not a stable marriage. That's not even a predictable life. She said she never knew what she was going to wake up to. And that feeling of instability was something she couldn't live with anymore.
The documentary that Kanye released showed some of this. You could see Kim trying to be supportive, trying to be the best wife possible. But behind the scenes, things were falling apart. Kanye refused to take medication, and Kim said that was a huge issue between them. She made it clear that when someone isn't willing to make changes that would be healthy and beneficial, it makes it really hard to stay in a relationship that's becoming toxic. The way he treated Kris Jenner was another breaking point. Kim talked about how hard it was to see her family get disrespected and then have to apologize to him while still sticking with Kanye. She'd watch him lash out at her mom, say horrible things about the people she loved, and then she'd have to go back to them and say, sorry. That's exhausting. That's the kind of thing that breaks you down over time.
Kim admitted that leaving was harder than staying, especially with kids involved. She said you really have to take your time and see if things will change. But once you realize it's not going to get better, you have to make serious choices. That's when she knew it was over. The financial decisions he'd make without her, the public rants, the way he'd air out their personal business online, none of it felt safe anymore. She talked about him making random, huge financial moves without consulting her at all. One day, everything would be fine. The next day, he'd have done something wild, and she'd have to figure out how to deal with it. Living like that for years takes a toll. Kim said that if someone is talking badly about your kid's grandmother and aunts, and you're constantly feeling like you're walking on eggshells, then maybe you shouldn't be together. It's a simple truth that took her a long time to accept, but the marriage ending was just the beginning of the problems.
Now let's get into the co-parenting situation, because this is where things get really messy. Kim revealed that she has the kids full-time, not shared custody, not 50-50, full-time. She's raising North, West, and her siblings basically on her own.
And when Alex Cooper asked when Kanye last reached out to see the kids, Kim said it had been months. Months. Think about that for a second. The same guy who goes online and accuses Kim of keeping the kids away from him hasn't even called to see them in months? Kim made it very clear that she's never kept the kids from their father. In fact, she said she begs them to go hang out with him. She encourages the relationship because she had a great relationship with her own dad and saw how good co-parenting could be. But Kanye isn't showing up. He's living in different countries, doing his own thing, and the kids have just gotten used to it. Kim explained that the kids always knew their dad had a big life. He was on tour, traveling, living all over the place, so they've adapted to him being absent. She keeps them on a schedule, makes sure they're healthy and happy, and does her best to maintain some normalcy. But it's not easy. She said co-parenting isn't easy no matter who you're doing it with, but this situation is particularly complicated. The narrative that Kanye has pushed online is that Kim keeps the kids from him. He made a huge deal about not being invited to a birthday party once, but Kim shut that down. She said that Kanye had told her he was planning his own party at 4 in the afternoon, so she scheduled hers at noon. Then he went online and twisted the story to make it seem like she excluded him. She said there have been so many times where she wanted to screenshot all the texts and show everyone what was really happening, but she doesn't want to be that person online fighting back.
The frustrating part for Kim is that she's doing everything she can to facilitate a relationship between Kanye and the kids, but he's not putting in the effort. Then he goes online and makes her look like the bad guy. People who know the situation have been saying that Kim is now on high alert, expecting Kanye to explode after this interview. She basically called him out for being an absent father, and that's not something he's going to take well. Sources close to Kim say she's done living in fear of his reactions. She's not going to censor herself anymore just to avoid setting him off. This interview was her way of finally telling her side of the story, and whatever Kanye does next is on him. But the way she's handling this whole situation is actually one of the few things people give Kim credit for. Even people who don't like the Kardashians can see that she's trying to do right by her kids while dealing with someone who's unpredictable and difficult. But here's where the interview took a turn that nobody expected. Kim addressed the Justin Bieber photoshoot, and this is the thing that people have been calling her out for, especially when all the Diddy stuff started coming up. Back in the day, Kim did a photoshoot with Justin Bieber for a magazine. The concept was based on The Graduate, the movie where an older woman has a relationship with a younger man. Justin was 16 years old at the time. Kim was 29. Let that sink in for a moment. The internet has been dragging this photoshoot for years, but it got brought up again recently when people were questioning everyone's connections to Diddy and looking at old photos of celebrities with young Justin. Kim was in those conversations, and people were asking why nobody thought this was weird at the time. In the interview, Kim admitted that looking back, she doesn't understand how this got approved. She said it's the one thing she feels weird about when she thinks about her past. She was clear that nothing creepy happened. Justin's girlfriend was there, his parents were there. It was all above board in terms of supervision. But the concept itself was inappropriate. She said now that she has her own kids, she looks back and realizes how odd it was. Why did nobody stop this? Why did everyone think it was okay to do a romantic-themed photo shoot with a 16-year-old and a 29-year-old woman? Kim said she doesn't know who approved it or who thought the narrative was normal, but it happened. She considers Justin a good friend of the family now, but she acknowledges that the photo shoot was not appropriate.
The internet is divided on this. Some people are giving her credit for owning up to it and admitting it was wrong. Others are saying she should have known better at the time. At 29 years old, she was old enough to recognize that this wasn't appropriate. But Kim's defense is that at the time, nobody around her thought it was weird either. The magazine pitched it, people showed up, and they did the shoot. It was only later, with more awareness about power dynamics and age-appropriate content, that people started questioning it. The fact that she brought it up voluntarily in the interview is interesting, though. She didn't have to talk about it. Alex Cooper didn't ask. But Kim chose to address it.
Maybe because she knew people were already talking about it and she wanted to get ahead of the narrative. Or maybe she genuinely feels bad about it now and wanted to acknowledge that it was a mistake. Either way, it's one of the most controversial things she's done, and the fact that she's finally talking about it is significant.
If you're still here, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I know, you're tired of hearing it. But think of it this way. If you subscribe, you'll never miss the drama. And let's be honest, you need the drama. We all do. It's what keeps us going. So do yourself a favor and click it. Your future self will thank you. Now, let's talk about the Northwest situation, because this is where Kim really asked people to back off. North has been getting criticized a lot lately, and Kim is tired of it. There was a recent incident in Rome where North wore a corset-style outfit, and people freaked out. They said she was dressing too grown, that Kim was letting her wear inappropriate things, and that she needed to parent better. Kim addressed this head-on. She said that unless you're a parent of a teenager or preteen, you need to give her some grace. She explained that North usually dresses like a tomboy most of the time. This was her trying something new that her friends were wearing. They all went to the same place, got the same outfits, and wore them. But when North wore it, Kim realized maybe it wasn't appropriate and told her they wouldn't wear it again. The problem is, they made that mistake in front of the whole world. Kim said she's learning as she goes, just like any parent. North wanted to experiment with her style, and Kim let her. But then she saw the reaction and course-corrected. That's normal parenting. But because she's Kim Kardashian, it becomes a national controversy. She also addressed people calling North a problem child. Kim said her daughter is a good, sweet girl who learns from her mistakes. When North does something and sees how it looks, she reflects on it. She'll tell Kim that she didn't like how she acted or what she said. She listens to her mom, but she's also allowed to have her own opinions. Kim said if North wants blue hair, it makes her happy, so she lets her have blue hair. That's not bad parenting. That's letting your kid express themselves. The narrative that the show creates doesn't help. Kim admitted that people see North being portrayed a certain way on the Kardashians, and they assume that's how she is all the time. But that's edited reality TV. They show the conflicts and the dramatic moments because that's what makes good television. They don't show all the quiet times when North is being sweet and listening to her mom. Kim said she's doing the best she can as a single mom raising 4 kids, and her babies are good babies. She urged everyone to have grace and not be so judgmental. Parenting a preteen is hard enough without the whole world watching and criticizing every decision you make. The Northwest criticism also ties into something bigger, which is how the public treats celebrity kids. North didn't ask to be born into this family. She didn't ask for every outfit choice to be scrutinized online. But because her parents are who they are, she gets judged for things that other kids her age do without anyone caring. Kim is trying to give North a normal childhood, while also dealing with the fact that normal isn't possible for them. She can't send North to school without photographers following them. She can't let North post on social media without people analyzing every word. It's a tough position to be in, and Kim is navigating it the best way she knows how. Some people think she's doing great. Others think she's failing. But at the end of the day, North is her daughter, and Kim is the one who has to make the decisions. Then there's the whole Kourtney and Travis Barker situation that Kim finally addressed. For years, people have been speculating about whether Kim and Travis Barker ever had a thing. Travis wrote in his book that he had a crush on Kim and they went on a date once. When people found out about this, especially during the time when Kim and Kourtney were fighting on the show, everyone started wondering if that was the real reason for the tension. Was Kourtney secretly upset that her husband had once been interested in her sister? Kim shut this down completely. She said they never hooked up. Absolutely not. She made it very clear that she doesn't mind being asked about it because the answer is simple and there's nothing to hide.
Kim explained that Travis dated Paris Hilton back in the day, and they were all friends. She'd hang out with Paris, and Travis would be around. They'd go to concerts in Amsterdam, hang out on tour, and it was all very casual. Kim has been friends with Travis for years, but never in a romantic way. She said Kourtney was around during all of that time. They were neighbors for a decade. Travis and his kids would come over to Kourtney's house for birthday parties. Everyone was friends. Everything was open, and there was nothing weird about it. Kim also said she didn't get a heads up that she was going to be mentioned in Travis's book. She found out like everyone else. But she said the book made it clear they never hooked up, so it's not like he was spreading lies about her.
The real issue is that people see Kim and Kourtney fighting on the show and assume it's because of deep-rooted issues like this Travis thing. But Kim said that's not the case at all. She and Kourtney are extremely close. They're like this, she said, holding her fingers together. The problem is that the show doesn't show the resolution. They show Kim and Kourtney fighting, and then they drag it out for months on the show. But in real life, Kim and Kourtney have already made up and are hanging out. The audience doesn't see that part. They just see the conflict and they assume the sisters hate each other. Kim said it sucks that people have that misconception because it's not true. She and Kourtney talk all the time, they're close, and the show just doesn't portray that side of their relationship. It's interesting that Kim is calling this out because you'd think with all the editing control they have, they could change the narrative. But maybe they leave the drama in because that's what keeps people watching. Without the fights, what's the point of the show?
Kim also got into her dating life and what it's been like trying to move on after Kanye. She talked about Pete Davidson and how bad she felt putting him in the position of dealing with Kanye's attacks. Kanye made a music video where he showed a claymation version of Pete being buried alive. That's not normal. That's threatening and scary. Or athlete. She joked that she wants lawyers and longevity scientists, people who are stable and normal. There was also a moment where Kim almost spilled some tea about Tom Brady, but then Kylie called and interrupted. People are dying to know what she was about to say, but we might never find out. The point is, Kim is single right now, and she's not in a rush to change that. She's focused on her kids, her businesses, and figuring out her life. Dating is complicated when you're Kim Kardashian. Everyone has an opinion about who you should be with. Everyone has something to say about your choices. And if you pick the wrong person, you get dragged for it. So she's taking her time, being careful, and not letting anyone pressure her into anything.
Here's the thing, though. All of this drama shows just how disconnected Kim's life is from normal reality. She admitted in the interview that she doesn't know how much a milk carton costs. She has no idea because she's never had to think about it. Her glam routine potentially costs $1 million a year. $1 million just to get her hair and makeup done. That's more than most people make in a decade. She told a story about fighting with Kris Jenner because Kim wanted a Birkin bag, but Kourtney bought it for Kylie instead. That's the kind of problem Kim has. Not whether she can afford groceries, but which daughter gets the designer bag. She also talked about the Met Gala outfit where she wore all black and covered her entire face. She said she never took the mask off the whole night. She couldn't see, couldn't eat, couldn't drink, but she committed to the look because that's what Kim does. She talked about the Paper magazine shoot where she balanced a champagne glass on her backside. That photo broke the internet, but Kim said the behind-the-scenes reality was way different than what people imagined. She also brought up the diamond earring drama in Bora Bora where she lost an earring in the ocean and Kourtney told her people were dying. That became a huge meme, but Kim said Kylie actually found the earring, which most people don't know. These little stories paint a picture of someone living in a completely different world. Kim's problems aren't normal people problems. She's worried about designer bags and Met Gala outfits, while most people are worried about paying rent. That disconnect is part of why people have such complicated feelings about the Kardashians. They're fascinating to watch, but also kind of impossible to relate to. Kim tries to be relatable. She tries to show that she's just a mom doing her best, but at the end of the day, her life is nothing like most people's lives. That doesn't mean her problems aren't real to her. Co-parenting with Kanye is genuinely difficult. Dealing with public criticism of her daughter is genuinely hurtful. But it's all happening in a context that most people can't even imagine. Real quick, if you haven't subscribed yet, what are you waiting for?
An engraved invitation? A personal call from Kim herself? I can't offer you either of those things, but I can promise more videos like this. So go ahead and subscribe. It's free. Unlike Kim's glam routine, which apparently costs $1 million. You're getting a bargain here.
So what's the internet saying about all of this? The reaction has been all over the place. Some people are giving Kim credit for being honest. They appreciate that she's finally opening up about how hard the marriage to Kanye really was. People who have dealt with partners who refuse to get help or who make their lives unstable can relate to that struggle. The co-parenting stuff has gotten Kim a lot of sympathy too. Even people who normally don't like her are saying that she's handling a tough situation as well as anyone could. Kanye going online and accusing her of keeping the kids away when he hasn't even called in months is objectively unfair, and people can see that. But then there's the criticism. The Justin Bieber thing has people divided. Some think she should have known better at 29 years old. Others think the industry failed both of them by allowing that photo shoot to happen. The Northwest parenting is another hot topic. Some people think Kim is doing fine and everyone needs to back off. Others think she's too permissive and North needs more structure. It's impossible to please everyone, and Kim knows that. She's not trying to be perfect. She's trying to be honest about her experiences and let people judge for themselves.
There's also speculation about what Kanye is going to do after hearing this interview. Sources close to Kim say she's preparing for him to go off on social media. She's done playing defense and censoring herself to avoid triggering him. If he wants to rant online, that's his choice. But she's not going to stay silent anymore. This interview was her way of taking back the narrative and telling her truth. Whether people believe her or not is up to them, but at least she said her piece. The Kanye response is going to be interesting. He's been relatively quiet lately, but this interview might set him off. Kim basically called him out for being an absent father and an unstable partner. That's not something he's going to let slide. The bigger picture here is that Kim is evolving. She's setting boundaries. She's not the same person who would do anything for fame. She's a mother of 4 trying to protect her kids while also being honest about her struggles. The Kardashian brand has always been about controlled chaos. They show you what they want you to see, and they keep the really messy stuff private. But this interview felt different. Kim let her guard down. She admitted mistakes. She called out unfair narratives. She showed vulnerability in a way that we don't usually see from her. Whether that's genuine or strategic is up for debate, but it definitely got people talking. This interview changes things for Kim. It positions her as someone who's been through hell and came out the other side. It makes her more sympathetic, more human. The Kardashians have been accused of being fake and manufactured for years. This was Kim's chance to show that there's real pain behind the glamorous Instagram photos. There's real struggle behind the designer clothes and the reality show drama. Not everyone is going to buy it. Some people will always think she's playing a role. But for those who were willing to listen, this interview offered a different perspective on Kim Kardashian. The question now is what comes next? Does Kanye respond? Does he stay quiet? Do people start treating Kim differently? Do the parenting critics back off? Does the Justin Bieber conversation continue? There are a lot of threads left dangling here, and Kim knows that. She threw a lot out there in one interview, and now everyone gets to react. The Kardashians have built an empire on keeping people interested, and this interview definitely did that. People are talking, people are taking sides, and people are waiting to see what happens next. That's exactly what Kim wanted.
So here's what we know. Kim was in a toxic marriage with Kanye West that left her feeling unsafe and unstable. She's co-parenting alone while Kanye lives his life in different countries. She regrets the Justin Bieber photo shoot and admits it was inappropriate. She's defending Northwest against parenting critics and asking for grace. She never hooked up with Travis Barker despite the rumors. She's close with Kourtney even though the show makes it seem otherwise. She's single, guarded, and focused on her kids. And she's done censoring herself to protect Kanye's feelings. That's a lot to unpack from one interview, but Kim Kardashian has never been one to do things halfway. What do you think about everything Kim said? Do you believe her side of the story about Kanye and the co-parenting situation? Was she right to finally address the Justin Bieber photo shoot, or should she have just let it go? And what about Northwest? Is Kim doing a good job parenting, or does she need to set more boundaries? Let me know in the comments what you think, because I want to hear all the opinions on this. Some of you are going to defend Kim no matter what. Some of you are going to criticize her no matter what. And some of you are somewhere in the middle trying to figure out what to believe. All perspectives are valid, so drop your thoughts below. And before you go, make sure you're subscribed because we're going to be covering whatever happens next in this saga. When Kanye responds, and he will respond, you're going to want to be here for it. When the next Kardashian drama drops, you're going to want to be here for it. This family never stops giving us content, and I'm here to break it all down for you. So subscribe if you haven't already, hit the notification bell, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching, and remember, life is messy, but at least you're not waking up to find all your Lamborghinis gone.